And hello to all my Libra friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent. Today I'll be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for November 2021. And today they've dialed up for you a Celtic cross spread. It is a very large spread, 10 cards, at least that's how it starts. I add on a little bit more to that. It's a good spread for a general reading because it encompasses mostly one topic, but it can vary a little bit, and it goes a little bit in the past and a little bit into the future. So it's really good for looking at the window of where my Libras are at right now. So we're going to get into that. I've already shuffled the cards ahead of time to save time, and then at the end of the reading we're going to ask, they've asked that we end with an animal totem spread, which I think is the first time we've been asked to do that for Libras, so that's going to be very exciting as well. So we will wait no further. I'm going to bring you in right now so you can watch. Go ahead and hit the like button and build up the energy in here for the Libras. There we go. So what I am doing now, I like to do on camera. They are my ritual cuts. Basically cuts the deck into 3 different pieces, puts them back together in a separate order, and that satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. And it's the same procedure for personal readings. And then they're ready to run. So we're doing Celtic Cross and Animal Totem for Libra. This is you and all that you are. This is what crosses you. This is what's behind you, the past. This is what's in front of you, the near future. This is what's above you, something you are aware of. This is what's below you, something you're not. Can't even tell. Okay, that's probably good like that. Make sure everything's in view for you there. And then we got to do 7, 8, 9, and 10 running up the sides. I will move that so you can see that better because I know the frame starts on the wide angle. It's hard to see that. So okay, so here's 7, 8, 9, and there goes 10. 10 up there is the 9 of Swords. That's our final outcome for the month. So let's see what I need here for tack-ons. Looks like not much. In fact, not any at all. Very interesting. Very stable way to read it, just the way it comes. There is not a lot of blockages either, coming in very clear. So let's zoom out and let's get underway, Libra. Let's do it. All right. Okay, gonna make some room here for myself so I can see this more clearly. Very first thing that they want to talk about here is an action in regards to your love corner. This may be with your relationship partner. This may also be with family members or something going on in the family, a family action, or also very, very close friends, because your close friends, anybody close to your heart, can come up in your love corner. The first thing they want to talk about is a love action. And a love action, I usually view that as a step in the right direction. Now, a step in the right direction may be different for different Libras. It really depends on where you're at in the Libra spectrum. For example, if you're single, a positive love action could be going on dates or something like that. If you're in an early relationship, a positive love action could be moving the relationship to the next step or something like that. And if you are in a relationship, a positive love action could just be going to do something fun with your person, or, you know, like or just bringing the relationship to a new level. It's a very good upgrade is what it is, long story short. So that's the first thing, kind of where you're at, where you start November at. What crosses you is finding peace. That's really what you guys are working on right now. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's such a typical like Libra thing. I mean, Libra is all about balance, and that's really what it is. So it's about finding that peace, that relaxation, that harmony, and finding that kind of that beach vibe right now is the struggle. And it's also, I mean, it says that you're fully capable of doing this. It doesn't come up as an issue like you're too busy or anything like that. It just shows that you just need this balance. You just need this rest, perhaps. That card right there is the 4 of Swords, and often for me, it can mean rest. It can just mean that you need more rest than you're getting, or you need to be a little easier on yourself, or you need to rest your mind at the very least. Your mind is going like 100 miles an hour, and you just got to slow it down a little bit. That's kind of the vibe of where you're at, where we start November. Now let's go to the near past here, the recent past, I should say. we have a correspondence coming in that's like very, very recent. So something happened very, very recently that has affected your mental capacity. That kind of goes back to the stress, that relaxation need for it at the very beginning. Something has come in super recently with that has kind of thrown off your mindset. It's thrown off your mindset, long story short. And it could be a situation, it could be a circumstance, it could be a multitude of different things. But the gist for the general reading, to sum up the whole thing, is that you've just been thrown off whack. That's kind of what it shows. Moving into November. Now, I'm assuming you're getting over that, because as we enter November, they show that we have a change in the wind here. And for a lot of you, the thing they want to talk about in the near future is a work action. So we go from talking about love at the very beginning to now they're kind of moving this into kind of your work area. And for some of you, these two areas of your life may be a little bit merged, but that's not for everybody. But the action in regards to work, they talk about kind of looking where you've come from. They want you to pay attention to the things that have transpired lately as you take work actions moving forward. So whether it's moving forward with a different job or in your current job, doesn't matter. The context is going to be really what you need to pull out of this here. So they're talking about a work action coming soon. They want you to be ready for it, and they want you to take it. They don't want you to procrastinate. They don't want you to delay or anything like that. You're getting the green light from the universe to take a work action very, very soon. And this is a reading for November, and time is fluid, so it could even eke into December, since we are talking about the future. So this could be anywhere between now and the end of the year. A major pertinent work action is going to be asked of you or required from quite a bit of my Libras. So just be ready for it in case it comes in November. That's probably why they're throwing it in here now, just for the Libras that kind of hit this early. You'll be ready for it. And the ones in December, we'll probably worry about them later, or at least we give them a little insight right now, and maybe they'll address that even more in December when we do your reading for December. So anyway, that's your future position. They show a work action. And, very good. There's nothing negative about any of this. It's just describing the state of the matter of what's going on. Now, your above position, this is an interesting one because it shows that you are aware of this. They show that you're having a really hard time juggling two different areas of your life. For most of you, this is your work and your love corner. It's just like the way we're describing it, and they're showing it. So they're saying you hold the keys to this, but beware. In this deck specifically, they talk about the Two of Pentacles. That's the card I'm describing. They talk about it, and they picture it as a little bird holding a key. So they're saying that you have the key to these two areas of your life, and finding the balance there, that Libra balance within them. But at the same time in this deck, that key is attached, the pin is attached to a grenade, so you have to be a little bit careful with this balance because you could end up blowing the whole thing up. And they're saying you're aware of this, so a lot of you are treading very lightly right now, or have been. I'm not really telling you anything new. It's just kind of the universe saying, like, we acknowledge the struggles that you're going through, where you've been and where you're going. Like, we see it, we get it. Okay, so that's the above position. Now on to the below position. This is telling you something you're not aware of. So it's always one of my favorites. They talk about good credit. So, this is going to come back. It's either going to come back financially and monetarily, or it's going to come back energetically and karmically. That's really the main thing here with good credit, because it could be a tangible thing, but it could also be, energetic good credit. So that's really what that's all about. They're saying that, you're going through a phase. Whatever that phase is for you specifically, where you are in the Libra spectrum, it doesn't matter, because there is an underlying reason for it, and it's good. There is good karma credit coming back to you. For some of you, this could actually be financial, like I brought up. So good things to see there. Maybe some positive money flow is coming your way as well. Also, since they're bringing that up in November, and let me just look ahead before I get too far ahead of myself. We don't really have much else in the way of money messages coming up, so let me take the opportunity to say with that, if there's anything financial that you're trying to do in November, move money around, buy certain things, whatever, they're actually saying it's a good time to do it. With the good credit card coming up there, it's kind of like that green light saying, okay, it's a good time. The timing is ripe right now. So all things good there. So there we go. Now, as we get to running up the sides here, before I get too deep in the spread, I do want to tell you about the moon cycles, because the moon cycles are going to affect this quite a bit. I always like to give you guys the moon cycle forecast of what's coming up in the month, every single month, so you can be ready for it and know what's coming. So in November, things are moving a little bit up. I don't know if you've seen my previous videos, but I usually talk about the beginning of the month, new moon energy, end of the month, full moon. And that's the way it's been for a while, but now it's starting to shift quite a bit, because now we have the new moon coming in very early in the month. We have it on November 4th. That's the best time to bring anything new into your life, whether you're trying to attract love or start something new with your health or bring in new money, any kind of stuff like that, even a new job. Very well placed at the very beginning of November. Like November 1 through 7 are the key hottest points there to do that. Doesn't mean you have to do that, but stuff like that will stick if you line it up with that new moon energy. Now, adversely, we have the full moon, and it had, like I said, it's been coming in at the end, but right now it's more toward the middle of the month. So target around the 19th. The 19th is the full moon, and that's the garbage truck of the universe is what I call it. It's when you want to get anything out of your life that doesn't fit you anymore, it doesn't do you good anymore, like old habits, could even be people for some of you, and also, emotional baggage, or it even could be stuff, things, clutter, stuff you got to just get rid of, and, garbage truck type vibe. So that's really what that's all about. So right around the middle of the month, the third week really is the best ideal time to get something like that to stick. It's very important to do that if you have a hard time of letting go of something too. It just lining up with those energies helps it flow. And the other important part to remember about the moon cycles is that in November, if you wait till the end of November, you're going to start getting back into that new moon energy again. It's starting to come in at the end of the month now. So you really want to target that full moon energy right around that third week. So let's get into number 7 here on your Celtic Cross. The number 7 is the advice column. Now they're giving me a target date for this work thing that they're talking about. They're telling me for most Libras, this is going to be end of November. And we did kind of scope it from November through the end of the year, if you remember me talking about that earlier. That's that action, but they're targeting here with the advice column. They just want to make sure that you guys nail this and that you're ready for it. Most of you are going to fall into this toward the end of November. So, probably full moon energy on. So 19th through the very end of the month, getting into that, that Thanksgiving break week. Perfect time. That's when this work correspondence is going to come in. Very important for your work corner. Very important message there. Next, for external influences, they talk about there's a blockage in the perspective. Now, the perspective is really like, normally the advice is that you're looking too close in front of you and they want you to broaden your scope. In this situation, they're telling you to do quite the opposite of that. They're saying don't miss what's right in front of your face. So obviously, a lot of you in your environment and those who surround you very closely are what they want you to pay attention to. Not the far parts of your environment, not the far parts of your family. This is like your close group is what they want you to pay a lot of attention to as far as your external influence. These are the people that are going to matter, especially in November. Not just always, but especially like right now. They really want you to switch this perspective to kind of stop looking so big screen and kind of like get a little tunnel visioned with things. At least as you go through November, I think it'll help you navigate the month much easier if you do that. So that's what we have for external influence. And then as we move up to hopes and fears, we have the Queen of Pentacles here. So there's a nurturing of money and a nurturing of health. They're basically telling me that this is going to kind of split the Libras down the line. So for some of you, they're talking about nurturing your health, and improving your health is your hope, or I guess what your fear would be is if you don't do it, you'd be afraid of it. Now the rest of you, they're talking about the same thing except with your financial corner, your financial sector. So nurturing your money, making sure you have it wrapped up and taken good care of, all that kind of stuff, and so it can grow. They say that regardless of this split, you Libras do a really good job of it. They're giving you credit here. They're saying you do a good job of it, but we need you to continue doing so. So whether health is your struggle or finance is, that's what they want you to keep kind of focusing on, or perhaps prioritizing so that you get it right. Very important theme for November. Now, the way we end up with your final outcome, It's an interesting card because in this deck I call this the icicles and the hair card. So it's kind of a little bit uncomfortable. This month might not be the most comfortable and peaceful and at ease, just that, you know, finding that relaxation that I talked about. It's obviously going to be a challenge to do that. But they presented it that it can be done. It's just going to be a challenge. You know, this is not going to be the most fun Libra month of all time, but it's going to be okay. That's the end result here. The other thing with that card is, you know, they want to make sure that you're good in your head. There's actually not talking about emotions. Really, I'm looking back and there's not a single emotional card here. That's good because there's nothing for you to that they're suggesting you work on right now. And I guess there's really no bad to it either, but really the focus, the long story short, the focus is on your mental capacity here, your mental health, your mental clarity, de-stressing, getting rid of the anxiety right now in November is going to be huge. They really want you to do what you got to do to be comfortable, to find that rest, relaxation. Obviously, a super huge theme. Now, we are sharing a lot of Libra energy here. This is a general reading, so I do have to remind you that, you know, this Libra bubble is big. So if you are looking for messages that are specific and private, only just to you, I do offer private readings on my website, scottsagent.com. So now let's get into your animal totem. That's always a ton of fun because I never know what they're going to throw at me. All right, so we have the Six of Swords inverted. Let's see what that is. All right, so a fun one here. I love it when they do this. They give me some weird animals sometimes. I have a very large list, and you know, sometimes I get basic ones and common ones, wolf, bear, owl, stuff like that. But once in a while, they'll throw a doozy, and that's what they did here for you. So they gave you Libras for November a squid. Now, I know a lot of you are into the Netflix show, you know, the Squid Game thing, and that's, you know, caught on and caught trend and whatever. I'm not going to read it that way. Now, if you happen to be a Libra that's into that stuff, maybe they're giving you like a little, like, you know, high five about that, or making some kind of connotation like, okay, yeah, you know, this is all about you. But really, I'm going to read it a little different. I read the animal totems not based on TV shows. So anyway, whoops. So anyway, on to the squid. So the squid, being a sea creature, navigating emotions, first of all. Anytime we have water, it's emotions. But the squid is like, you know, the ink. The ink is the most notable part of the squid. So for some of you, this could be having to do with writing, agreements, contracts, being aware of all that stuff. Now, they did give me one animal instead of two. So they want you to focus on just one set of circumstances right now instead of transitioning. So they really want you to be focused on the ink. Okay, so whatever the ink is for you, whether it's, you know, contracts at your work, or whether it's signing legal agreements, or whatever the ink could be, the ink is a major theme there. Now, I go back to the emotional part about navigating the emotional waters. They said you did such a good job of that, and, you know, so do squid. You know, they don't have any trouble getting around in the water. They scurry around just fine. And when they get attacked, or, you know, they could become prey, that's when they drop that ink, and that's when they, you know, they get out real quick. So for you also, knowing to pick your battles this month, knowing when to get out versus when to stick and fight. Like, you know, pick your battles wisely, choose very wisely, especially be careful of any kind of legal agreements or anything that you sign. So that's what we have for Squid. Very interesting stuff there. Now, I have some big giveaways going on every single month on Facebook. Please follow the Facebook page, because right around the 20th, I do a free giveaway every single month on there. And next month, I'm doing a very, very large giveaway for my newsletter people. If you're not signed up for the newsletter, very simple to do. You go to my website, scottsagent.com, go to the very bottom, enter your first name, your email address, you send that off, and then you're good, and you're in there. And I'm going to offer that to everybody next month. That's part of the newsletter program, so absolutely take advantage of that. And that's going to wrap us up here. It has been a lot of information. I hope you digest it well and can use it for positive change. And you know, have a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe, and spend it with the people that you love, and be very grateful. And remember to like and subscribe so you see future videos. That's going to wrap us up here, and I will see you all soon.